1, go, Jaxx. See, I know we did go over 30 seconds.
No way.
Hey, welcome to tonight's podcast. North Texas, Coach J's Gridiron Barbecue in North Texas football. I forgot to say that last week.
Did we?
We did. It's all right.
Oh, it's okay.
Guest host Rudy Hawkins. Everybody knows him. And Frank Johnson, tonight's special guest. One of my favorite sons, top 4 anyway. Jake Johnson, he coaches in Eastland, Texas. Welcome, Jake. Also in the background, I have Jaxx Johnson. Some of you, if you're from Holiday, you know him. Over here, we got Jett Johnson. And finally, my oldest son, JC Johnson. They're all home for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We're recording Tuesday night, even though it's Wednesday night on the podcast. This won't come out till Wednesday, but happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's a great time. It's awesome to come over here and see all your kids here with you, and that's what Thanksgiving holidays are all about.
Daggum right. I'm excited to have my children home, and it's been a while since I've seen JC. Jake, everyone. I've seen him twice during football season and 3 times. And Jett I see occasionally. Thankfully, he lives close. And Jaxx I've seen a couple of times. But it is great. Family and friends.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to coach against 2 of your kids as players and one as a fellow coach. So
yeah.
It's a lot of fun, though.
It has. It's a highlight of my career getting to coach my own kids.
Oh, I bet.
Probably the low light is playing against Jake. We were 1-1 against each other. So.
Well, I know a couple of weeks ago we were at our podcast and you were getting some food. You were taking to Eastland.
Yeah.
Did you receive it?
I got it.
All right.
They brought more food than I thought I could eat in the short time I ate in 3 days. So.
Yeah. He was hungry. He was a growing boy.
Growing boy.
I know that was always nice when I got started out coaching. Parents would come visit every now and then, and they would do the same thing, bring food, and you're like, oh my gosh, so much better than fast food because that's all I ever had, and that's all you ever really have time to do. So, but no, thanks for coming and being out here with us tonight. Interesting fact. I mean, we're going to talk some 3A football here before too long. You guys played, what was it, 3 of 4 left in this region?
3 out of 4 teams left in the region. Eastland had an opportunity to play. Before we get too much farther, we got to talk about the Red Barn Butcher.
That's right. I was in there yesterday and got me some Elk Creek turkey
I was in there
brine.
Tuesday. I bought sausage. About 5 pounds of sausage. About 3 for the people I'm selling it to and 2 for myself just because I love it. So, I didn't cook anything tonight. I've got to cook. I'm cooking for other people on Wednesday, which is today, except today's Tuesday, but we're going to pretend like it's Wednesday. But so tomorrow morning, even though it's Wednesday again, it's like Groundhog Day.
That's right.
I'm going to cook a turkey and a brisket for some friends of ours and some sausage. You're cooking turkeys and briskets. Tell me what you do with your turkey. I'll tell you what I'm doing with mine.
Oh well, we're gonna just smoke ours, on this. When we have 28 turkeys to cook tomorrow.
That's 27 more than I do.
Yeah, so we have 28. We did 8 briskets today, and with Wing and secondhand smoke, and then we got 28 turkeys tomorrow and about 14 hams, I believe. But we're gonna cook them on post oak, and we're gonna throw them on there and cook them till we get our internal temperatures right and roll with it. Not even sure what seasoning we're going to use on those turkeys, and then the hams, there's not a whole lot to the ham. Put them on there, get some smoke on them, and they're good to go.
I cooked a ham the other day, and I did a cherry whiskey glaze.
That sounds good.
And I like the glaze better than I like the ham. Smoked it on cherry wood, and it was good. I smoked a turkey at the same time, but Jett's dog, I was cutting it, and I stopped for a second, ran to the bathroom, and the time I got back, it was like the Christmas story where the bumpiest dog ate the damn turkey. That damn dog. I cooked it for sampling purposes for people, and dog ate it, or not all of it, but I couldn't.
That's probably what Jaxx used to say about homework. You know,
Yeah.
dog ate it. Maybe it
It
was
was
true.
Jett's dog. It wasn't mine, but Jett's dog ruined a damn turkey, and it really irritated me. I got a turkey sitting in a brine right now, homemade with orange. I cut up an orange. Now that I think about it, I forgot the damn orange. I got to put it in there after the podcast.
That's a good thing about a brine. You just have time to put it in there.
Yeah. All different kinds of stuff, and you know, it's basically 24 hours, and I'll dry it out really good. I was going to go with Meat Church These Nuts, which is a pecan base.
Yep, it's a good seasoning.
But I couldn't find any, so I'm probably going to go with kind of a brown sugar based. I will inject it with butter, and
I went
cook it on cherry wood.
I went, for the one that I'll cook for our family Thanksgiving. I cheated and I went and got Elks Creek turkey brine that I'm gonna put in for 24 hours as well. Then I'll eject it as well with a Creole butter type deal.
Yeah.
And I buy that from the store too. I mean, Tony's. I don't even know how to say the
Tony
last name.
Sriracha.
Yeah, whatever, however you say the last name. But it's great stuff. It's something simple for cooks out there that you can just get it. Just make sure you kind of get it all throughout the meats and all. But it tastes really good.
Friday or Thursday, we'll fry a turkey, and I'm gonna throw this out there. 2 safety rules about frying turkey. Number 1, don't be drunk.
That helps.
And if you are, videotape it. Because bad things are going to happen. You can put it on YouTube. And
it might go viral.
Yeah, it might go viral. Number 2, when you lower that, when you get your oil up to temperature, turn your fire off when you lower that bird into it. And then relight it. So if the oil goes over, you ain't going to blow up.
Yeah.
I see all these people blow up every year on the internet, and I think they're stupid. Turn the fire off. Of course, I've been cooking a turkey. I've been frying turkey for 12, 14 years, and last year was the first year we thought, turn the fire off.
Yeah, it makes good sense, and there's alternative as well. I know you always make fun of me about my oven bake when I use my pellet smoker. This we are not using pellets tomorrow or today. We're using fires too big. Can't put those on a pellet grill.
No, if you're cooking 28 brisket on a stick, you're cooking.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. But I have a airless or a oilless
That's
fryer.
an oven.
But
That's convection.
Now I'm gonna tell you something though. I don't have to worry about blowing up because one, I have a hard time sometimes not drinking wine fry turkey. So this keeps me from having to not do that. But 2, it actually surprised me. The first time I used one, I was really shocked. I'm like, there's no way this works. How does it even possibly work? But it works.
Well, air frying, and hell, I have.
But for
air
the
fryer.
people that don't want to
But
worry
I'm
about
just
it,
saying,
it's an option.
It's a convection oven.
Everything's a convection oven.
Well, if you stick something in a box and turn the heat on, and air circulating hot air to cook it, it's a convection oven. Now, I love my mother, but I believe I could cook a turkey in her house. It's on about 98 degrees all the time anyway.
Well, at 8 o'clock, she's going to call tonight.
Good chance of it, because I didn't tell her it was really Wednesday, even though it's Tuesday. So we'll talk to her. She'll be excited.
Well, that's what I always like talking to you. I always
grandson.
give you those alternative routes, boy. It chaps you.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to smoke something, use real wood.
Hey, a pellet's wood. It's just compressed.
Light a fire, put some oil in it, and see what happens. I mean,
it does take the fun out of it.
It
Because
does.
I always wondered when I did use oil, I'm always wondering if I'm going to blow something up.
Yeah,
or something's going to catch on fire.
I
There's a
highly
pretty good
recommend
chance.
doing something without a roof over it.
Yeah, for sure. Or
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah.
Probably don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to burn up, but
Not in the cook shack.
no, if you do, you want a fire compression system. Oh well. Have a great Thanksgiving. Don't burn up. go to Red Barn. I'm not selling this week on downtown, but I will be back next week. Appreciate all the business we had last week. We'll make some more burritos. Apparently, town people are smoking brisket burritos are the way to go. And I'll sell some of those, some more baked potatoes, some more brisket sandwiches,
Brisket mac.
brisket mac. Woo. And I'll
That's my favorite.
throw a little pulled pork in there. So we love the business, and thank you. Let's talk football.
Yeah, I mean, what round are we in now?
We're third round.
Third round.
Um,
A lot of our area teams knocked out.
yeah.
I just want to recap a little bit from last week. We lost some teams last week in the playoffs. I guess the one that really kind of sticks out to me a little bit is the Hershey game. I was keeping up with that game while I was at the stadium watching the game, and I was watching it, and I'm like, man, they got this. I think it was 30-7 at one point in that game in the second half.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. When JC, what year did we play Bangs? Your junior year?
Senior year.
Senior year.
2010.
Yeah, Jake was on that team. We played Alpine, had bye, played Kermit, then had a bye in the first round of the playoffs. And second round, we're playing Bangs, and I wish I could remember their coach's name. Highly respected. Boy, he was a good one. We jumped all over Bangs. Do you remember what the score was at half?
No.
It's 29-6.
29-6.
So very similar.
Very similar, and he quit doing what he normally did. Went to an empty backfield and started throwing the ball around, and hell, they weren't dropping it. And honestly, our bye weeks and all that, I thought we were out of shape. We held on, but I could just feel the momentum leaving us, and they ended up dropping a pass that probably would have won the game for them. But we held on to win it. What was the score, Jake?
35-29.
35-29.
Yeah.
It was a Tom, hold on loosely and don't let go type of deal. It was a
Yeah, and Hershey loses on the last second field goal out there. It was kind of a scary game to me. Hershey went to Midland Greenwood 2 weeks ago and didn't play well on the road, and then another long trip to Colorado City to play that game. And that's just scary. When you're taking kids that far, and especially after you've kind of proven that you didn't play well on the last long road trip.
Yeah, they probably didn't take the shortcut. You knock 30 minutes off if you know the back road.
Yeah, probably didn't know the back road.
You should have called.
On the charter.
It's a dangerous little road, and there are hogs out there.
But yeah, I mean, it was one of those games where I really saw the Huskies. If anything I talked about, I saw them playing West Plains or Graham there in the fourth round, and I had them winning. And then when I was watching the game, I had them winning that game.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I went over and watched Alito play Lubbock Cooper.
yeah, I was there.
And I always sit there and look at scores during the game, and I quit looking at theirs because I thought they had it won. It was too big of a deficit, and they had them win. Hate that for them.
Yeah, I agree because I was watching it. I called Coach Worrell at Mineral Wells and said, "Hey, is Wichita Falls going to have the doubleheader at your place this next week with Ryder and Hershey?" He said, "Yeah, it's set. They're gonna play doubleheader here next week." Then I get home and I look up and it didn't work out. But that's high school sports for you. I was at Iowa Park earlier that night, and I went by and saw Cliff Watkins there. Speaking of Eastland, he was a head coach at Eastland back when they were in our district, and talked to him for a while. And he felt like they're playing pretty good football right now too. So he really thought they would be playing Hershey that next week too. So I know it shocked him too. So, but it is what it is. Man, I feel bad for the Huskies, and that's the last game that they have is Hershey High School.
That game will stay with them.
Yeah,
as good as seasons they had, that one will stay with them.
And they've had a couple great years there in a row, and that one's going to sting for sure. I know LJ, it's going to bother him. and that staff and those kids. So
Yeah, I would. That game would bother me till next year till I played another game.
yeah, for
So,
sure, for sure.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk. Let's talk about our Rider Raiders.
Okay,
10-2. Congratulations on a 10-win season. Playing Emerson. 10-2.
Frisco Emerson.
Yeah. They're a 3 seed. They're in a good district with Toledo.
Toledo and Lake Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Like
Lake
Dallas,
Dallas.
who Ryder beat this past week.
Yeah, Emerson lost to them by what, 2 points?
I think it was 36-35.
Yeah, 1 point. So,
And I think Emerson was kind of picked to be that second place team rolling out of that, coming out of there.
Yeah.
And I think that was an upset with Lake Dallas. But Ryder
Well-
defense, fellows, shut Lake Dallas down. I mean, shut them down. I think they had less than 20 yards or something of offense in the first half. And I spoke to Hull about that, and he was like, yeah, they didn't have nothing. I mean, he was shut down completely.
well, on paper, and if you go by, who beat who and common opponents, you're going to pick Ryder, and I'm going to pick Ryder. Sometimes this game's about matchups, though.
Yeah, and it really is, and we all know. I mean, when you get to the playoff, I mean, you're in the third round. There's no more pretenders anymore. Those guys are gone and out.
Well, it's Thanksgiving week, and what is the right way to have practice this Thanksgiving? The last couple of years, we had 2 practices on Wednesday and took Thursday off, and I told the kids, eat as much as you want to, have it out of your system before we loaded the bus on Friday.
Yeah, the good thing about Hayes in the barn, by Wednesday anyway.
Colorado
so.
City, in the early years and here in Holiday, we'd have a Thursday morning practice. One year we had a Thursday night practice, which was really fun. Everybody in town came out for it. Some people like to have a big family deal on Thursday. I don't know what's best. I know you want to feel good Friday afternoon.
Yeah, you're right. And that's the thing about it, I mean, this is something that, Ryder probably has. They've probably done it the same way because it seems to work for them.
Yeah.
They're really good at this. They've won a lot of Thanksgiving weekend football games. So it's not Coach Bendel and his staff's first go around. It's not a lot of their players have seen this stuff for upcoming. I'm not sure about Frisco Emerson. I'm guessing it's probably a newer school. I don't know how long they've been around. Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know a daggum thing about them other than they're 10-2. They're playing Friday at 2:00 in Mineral Wells at Ram Stadium.
Yeah, I'm actually going to this game. I'm riding with Coach Free down there, and we're gonna watch that game and get back, and then I think I'm gonna slide from there probably over to Graham and catch.
That's where I'm gonna go.
And so I kind of catch both games right there on the way back. But great venue. Ryder played there this past week. I was kind of shocked that they're gonna play there again with Emerson. So. A lot of times you don't want to play somebody that just won there and had good luck there to play. So
Jaxx says they opened in 2021, so it's the second year of their playoff.
Yeah, I knew they probably hadn't been around very long. So, I think that's a huge advantage for Ryder. I'm gonna guess that maybe this might be Frisco's first turkey weekend to play, and they're probably asking those questions. They probably called around some coaches and say, "What's the best deal to do?" Because I remember when we did that, I was like, I didn't know how to do it. I had to call guys that's been there and done that. So definitely something different there.
Moving on, Pickham Ryder.
Yeah, Ryder.
Just kind of a quick, going to mention them. Springtown playing Brownwood at Crowley ISD, multi-purpose something or other. I don't know. But be a good game. I'm going to pick Springtown. Springtown's got on a little run.
Yeah, and another Eastland guy.
Yeah.
With Hewlett leading the Porcupines. But how good is that district? I mean, because we're fixing to talk about Decatur, their top 2 teams in that district still playing.
Yeah.
And I think both of them have a really good chance of winning. I know Brownwood's going to be a tough draw for Springtown. But, Old High last year beat Brownwood in this week. And I think Springtown is playing probably the best ball they've played all year. So Yeah, I like the Porcupines in this.
Hudson Hewlett, Coach Hewlett's son's quarterback. And, you grow up in Eastland, you can't help but throw a ball well.
Yeah.
That boy.
Yeah,
He's playing
thinking
really
about that.
good football.
Y'all had some good ones out there in the past. Seems like forever.
Hudson's playing Jack.
Yeah.
Well,
Really
I'm going to pull for old Springtown.
Yeah, I like Hewlett. I'm going to go for him for sure.
I don't really care much for real porcupines. They'll do damage to a dog.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Yeah.
Although, Brownwood's head coach spoke at our Fallstown clinic last year. He's a good dude too, but I know Hewlett a little bit better, so I'm going to go with the Porcupines.
Well, against Scotto Decatur, they're playing at Abilene Shotwell Stadium. Love that stadium. I had a good record there.
They just redid a lot of it too, so it was shut down last year with no playoff games.
I'm just going to jump out there and say Decatur wins. It's kind of good athletes. I mean, they're going to have athletes.
That running back, I've watched him play twice last year. He's one of the best ones I've seen, and he's the real deal. He's a Power 5 guy, so I like Decatur in this entire region. I think they're going to win this week and next week.
One of the biggest losses back years ago, we're playing Escata when I was at Plainview. About fourth game of the season, roughly. And we're playing in Lubbock on a Thursday night. And we hurt their running back. We're up big, and we're feeling good about life. And they brought in a sophomore. This is what made me nice. The transformer went out, so the lights went out. And we delayed the game and waited for the transfer lights to come back on. They put the new transformer on, and they brought in a sophomore running back. We still ain't tackled that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We ended up losing. Estacato's had athletes for a long time.
Yeah, that's one thing I was fixing to say. Estacato's going to have the athletes to match Decatur. I'm just curious. Decatur, all other phases of the game, I think, will probably be better than Estacado. But, yeah, it's going to be a good game. There's going to be a lot of athletes on the field, that's for sure.
We played, when I was at Lebanon, we played Estacado. We actually beat them. We really had no business beating those guys. I mean, they were physically superior to us in every way. What got them was we got a little bit of run of momentum, and once we got it going, they didn't ever have the opportunity to change it. And I think if Decatur can do that at any point in the game.
Yeah, Estacado just always seems, when you look at them when they come on the field, most of the time you're going to pick those guys to win. I mean, they got superior looking athletes.
They come on the field fast.
Yeah, and but
And
they just always seem to lose a game every now and then they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Now this is a game that they probably should lose, so they might win. Yeah, I mean you just never know.
You never know.
Yeah, but,
and again, it goes back to this time of year. Who's ready to be done with football?
Yep.
It's the end of November, and
been playing for a long time.
Some people are ready to watch Christmas music or musicals and TV shows and not play football anymore. I did watch Planes, Trains, and Automobile. Probably the best Thanksgiving show ever.
Yeah, I saw you posted that the other day. It just made me chuckle.
Ever watched a Christmas movie? Saturday, Sunday.
Best Christmas movie.
Christmas Vacation, number one. All
Hey,
time.
we agree on something.
Best Christmas song, Robert L. King's Merry Christmas from the Family.
That's a good one.
Got to go with it. 4A Division II football. Now that Hershey's out, I'm just going to quickly talk about Glen Rose playing Seminole.
Yeah, I went over.
We're going to pick Cliff.
Yeah, I went over, like I said, in Owl Park and watched them guys play, and I'm telling you what, they put on a show in the first 6 minutes of that game. It was over. And Glen Rose is a small group. I mean, they're not big on size and stature, but my goodness, they're fast. And they play super fast. He's so high tempo playing offensively that they put you in a bind. They put you in that. I just always remember that when he was at Eastland calling defense against that guy. It's like you just got to play base most of the time. He's going to put you in base.
Cliff's a good coach.
Does a great job, and I like them in this game. I think the upset, with Seminole, I think that's going to give them some momentum going into that game.
Apparently, they're going to quit.
They're not going to quit, so they're definitely a team you better keep your foot down on. And Glen Rose don't have a problem doing that. But from the start of the year to now, I remember last year when Cliff talked about his team, this upcoming team at our clinic. He said we were really, really young. He said it's going to take a while for us to figure it out. And well, I think they're figuring it out.
I think they've got it figured out.
Cliff's one of the very best offensive coordinators. I mean, he's a head coach, but offensive coaches around, and he's got an excellent defensive coordinator, Jeffrey Pear, and one of my very best friends is his corners coach, Ty Bird.
So you give us a little bit more detail on this Glen Rose.
I'm telling y'all that you can't be coached any better than they are on the defensive side. So
I'm not sure offensive side. I think
I agree. I'm telling you, Cliff's as good as anybody.
Here's one thing, and you might be able to answer this for me. It always seems like, and Cliff, and I want to ask Cliff this. Cliff, if you're listening, call me. I want to know if this is true. It always seems like
call live, Cliff.
His best player is always like the H-back. He can move him around. He moves that guy around. He puts him at the H. Put him at the tight end. Like number 24 is their dude this year. Like they always seem to have that guy.
Inside receiver that they move around.
Yes, and they always seem to have that guy, and he's always a dude. And it seems like he's always number 24. I don't know, but they have another one this year, and he's really, really good. And so I like Glen Rose in this game.
I do
think
too.
they're well coached.
And I first see Glen Rose playing West Plains in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, West Plains going into this year, coming back from last year, they had everybody back. It's their first. Graham. I wanted Graham to win that. I picked them to win that game, knowing that they were probably an underdog going into that game. But apparently West Plains had some move-ins come from Tascosa that gave them a little bit more athletic abilities.
So you're saying they cheated?
Just saying they had some move-ins, transfers, whatever. But whatever, I see them. But that's a heck of a game. Monahans. Don't sleep on Monahans in this game.
Monahans. I haven't lived out there in a long time, but Monahans used to have some tough old Warfield kids and enough kids that could run.
I've seen them on film. They're pretty
good
athletic.
football.
I've heard.
I don't know about West Plains, but.
Yeah,
Monahans got some kids.
I've heard Monahans I've heard about them all year. When we're kind of been talking about this, I kind of call around and kind of check on some stuff for the show. And Monahans name kept coming up, and I was like, no, I just don't. Graham, West Plains, Wichita Falls, Hershey, because Glen Rose wasn't in the talk early on. When Graham went and thumped them early on, and everybody's like, what happened to Glen Rose? But now they're playing, and those other two aren't. So, but Monahan's name's been out there for a long time, so that's gonna be a good one.
3A Division I. We don't have a team left in it.
Got Clyde, I guess. It's in the district with a lot of the teams around here.
Clyde's got Brock.
Good luck.
Yeah, my heart says I want Clyde to win. Reality says Brock's going to.
Yeah.
Paradise and Bushland. That's a tough football game.
That's probably going to be played around here somewhere. Maybe Vernon.
Let's see where they are playing. It's be worth going to.
Heck of a game to watch.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. Paradise, how about programs come a long way. Those guys have done a great job out there.
We coach against those guys in the Oil Bowl. And I'm talking about.
Doesn't say where they're playing. I'm sorry.
I think that game might be going to be played in Vernon, because I remember talking to Cheryl something about if those two teams played, they thought they might be playing in Vernon again. But I'm not sure. But somewhere right in here is probably in the middle between those two, though. But Paradise has come. I mean, I remember
in Vernon. Thank you, Jaxx.
Conflicting offenses as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Bushland's got some cats. Who'd they beat?
Paradise 10-1. Bushland 11-1. I guess Bushland got beat by.
Probably a non-district big
I know
school.
who they got beat by.
Who they get beat by?
Canadian, wasn't it?
Non-district Canadian team. So
we'll get to that here in a minute.
Yeah. So Paradise, I don't know. I think that's going to be a great.
Paradise going to play keep away. Paradise runs the gunner offense, so
Paradise has a quarterback who's an absolute stud. They kind of build that scheme around him, and he runs as good as anybody.
Yeah, he's the senior, I believe.
Yeah, I think they're real senior heavy.
Yeah.
I know that they have 27 maybe seniors on that Paradise team. So that could go a long way in that game, but I think they're going to need every break they can get to beat Bushland.
Well, moving 3A Division 2, just going to talk about Region 1. Roosevelt versus Wall. I think you got to pick Wall.
It's Wall.
Yeah, it's Wall. Which,
Roosevelt's had a hell of a year.
Yeah, what are they in the same district as Childress?
They're out of Lou, I think.
Okay, because Childress played Wall tough. Or
21-14. Roosevelt's with Idlew.
Yeah.
Idlew, speaking of which, have Canadian or Free and Clay coaches out there. They're about to get thumped.
I agree. I mean, I think there's a collision course coming, and I've heard that this could be one of Canadian's best teams they've had. I know they got an athletic quarterback that can sling it.
Well,
Another Eastland boy.
Really?
Well, he grew up in Eastland. His dad, it's one of the Cavaliers.
Okay.
I think he's the head coach there now.
Yeah, he's
Andy Cavalier. He was the defensive coordinator with Hewlett.
I think Andy and those guys were at Pampa back in the day.
Yeah. Well, his Andy's dad was at Pampa.
Okay. His dad Dennis was a hell of a football coach. This is how old I am. His sons played quarterback for him. We caught him in the playoff. We played him in the regular season and caught him in the playoffs. And we won, thankfully, but it was like a 3-point game or a 1-point game. Cavalier boys can play football.
Yeah.
And
Canadian can play football. I remember when I was at Quanah, we used to go scrimmage those guys.
As good as the dads were, I believe this boy is better.
I've heard. I'm gonna see him play because I'm gonna go watch him in a couple weeks.
Andy's a cool guy. I don't know if you guys have seen him on Twitter.
Well,
yeah.
He gets up at like 4:30 every morning and posts a video on Twitter about self-motivation.
Wall started calling me about film on Canadian back during the summer, and Houston guy is a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. We were in district together. I said, Houston, I'm retired. They kicked me off huddle. I don't have anything.
Well, Wall put on their little bit of inside information. Wall put on a 3-3 stack. They've always been a 4-3 kind of cover 4 team. They put on a 3-3 stack, and we run a very similar offense to Kenny. We don't run it nearly as well, but we kind of copied off them. We played Wall in the first game of the season, and that stack's pretty good. I don't know how great they are offensively, but their defense is
they haven't given up very many points.
Their defense
at all.
is special.
They're going to find out.
Need
I think Wall and Canadian will meet next week in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm seeing Roosevelt on film. They're a really solid football team, but
that guy does a great job at Roosevelt.
He does.
He but
saw them against Holly. They gave Holly all they wanted.
I think that'll be the end of it. All right, Region 1, 3A, Division 2. So, hell, I screwed that up. Region 2. If I can, I'm going to. Dadgum, just give me a second. Holiday in Jacksboro.
Yeah.
Hey, just congratulations, Holiday. Another 10-win season. 6 or 7 in a row.
Yeah,
7.
and this is where the insight's coming from you tonight. You're a great guy here to have.
Jacksboro District Champ, 10-win season.
I think they're undefeated.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
And all year I've said, well, Jacksboro won, but they had to come from behind. Or Jacksboro barely won. Last week they had a statement win against Bells.
Yeah, and our statement wins hadn't seemed to fare well
No.
for the teams that we thought had statement wins. One of the we talked about Winthorpe's statement win against Seymour, and then I didn't see them losing this past week to Roscoe, and they got
Old
beat.
Plowboys plowed them.
Yeah, and it was a shocker to me. But yeah, you're right. I think that was a statement win to beat Bells like that. So Jacksboro's coming in hot. I'm not sure if if Jacksboro has seen a defense as good as Holiday.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
This game Saturday or Friday evening, 7 o'clock in Graham. Holiday's defensive line, I've said it all year, is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake we were talking earlier in the day. He said what Belcher does so well is the extended plays.
For sure.
So if Holiday can heat him up, Holiday has the advantage. If Jacksboro's offensive line does a good job, who knows?
All right, let's talk to the special guest here.
Right.
You play both of these teams, correct?
Both teams really good. I mean, overall really good. Holiday is really, really good defense, especially on the defensive line. The number 55, what's his name? Cooper Turner is a special player. Number 24 is an end.
That's Milchuk's little brother.
No,
Von
Hamill. Von Hamill is a really good player. The
high intensity kid.
Yeah, I mean, very. We didn't block him one time, I don't think. They got another 39's the defensive end, who's a really good player. Not as much get after passer, but great against the line. And there's another defensive tackle, the school board guy's son. Foster. Foster's a good player as well. And they got good players at all three levels. I think they're going to give Jacksboro some problems.
So edge, if we go edge up front, offensive line, a Jacksboro Holiday defensive line, who's edge?
Holiday defensive line. Jacksboro's got a solid offensive line, but Holiday's defensive line is different. I mean, a really good group. The question to me, and this is because we were able to heat Lando up a little bit in Eastland, but we weren't able to tackle him. He is a special quarterback as far as extending plays, and he's got really good receivers. And what makes them special is you can cover him for 2, maybe cover him 3. But once he extends those plays, the plays that would be a 10-yard gain or a 15-yard gain turn into 30, 35. And I think Holiday's got a good secondary, but for as long as they'll have to cover those special guys, like Jacksboro's got a Division I kid or a FCS kid, and the other one, the opposite of him, is I would think he's probably in the same range.
Yeah, both of those guys, I
number 8.
coached against them last year and lost them in the playoffs, and that's what hurt us is we could stop the run, and we could get pressure on Lando, but we couldn't get him down.
Yeah.
And he kept the plays going.
And then those fast guys.
And they're tall. They're tall, lanky guys that can run, and so, I think it's going to go down to that. Can the Holiday guys get Lando down? Can they make him make mistakes? Because he can make mistakes.
He can.
When he gets running around out there. And matchups. I think Holiday secondary has some guys that can match up with
some
him.
big
long
kids
too.
Number 2 from Holiday, what's Canada?
Barry.
Mm-hmm. It's really, really a good matchup for the Valenzuela kid from Jacksboro. I don't know how. It'll be an incredible game because if you flip it around, the Cox kid from Holiday has been playing really, really good football. Mm-hmm. And their offensive line has been playing good, and they got some good targets outside. I would have thought that's what's surprising about the game last week is I thought Jacksboro's weakness was their defensive line. I knew they had a really good player, the defensive end on the left, number 11. He is a special player. I mean, a really, really good player. I wish I knew his name. Maybe it's McComas. Does that sound right? McComas is a good football player. But I thought their interior defensive line would be troubled. And if anyone's going to do that to you, it would be Bells. So I really wish I could watch that film.
Yeah, I agree. That game was surprising to me when I saw the score of it.
Jacksboro's given up points all year, and all of a sudden they don't. Against what, on paper anyway, was a good team.
Yeah. I mean, I think their only loss was Gunner. So, with that being said, I like this game. I really do. I love the contrast.
If you don't care about the winner, it'd be a great game to go to.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be a secondary against receiver. Can you cover them that long? I think the Hooktons of of Holiday and those type of Barry kids, those guys that play in the back are going to have to play
I think
extremely
you
well.
definitely offense. You got to take advantage of every possession you get. Defensively, it may come down to who plays the best defense, who keeps the other high prolific offense from scoring.
Defense win championships, right?
Defense wins championship.
And I think that's true in this game. And so I mean, it's gonna be a good one.
Well, I'm going out for the Holiday Eagles. I will say this, and maybe the Jacksboro people aren't listening. Maybe they are. I think if you're going to beat Holiday, you got to get past the fear of that damn eagle on the side of your helmet.
That's like real deal.
Because the last time we played them, and it's been a couple of years ago in the playoffs, it worked out big in Holiday's favor.
And that goes a long way. I mean, it's a true statement, an easy statement to make, because that happens all the time. I mean, it's you can't be afraid of the jersey.
No.
And the thing about it is, this is
ironically a lot of these kids in tomorrow's game, and I know it's Tuesday, even though I'm saying it's Wednesday. In Friday's game, a lot of the kids played in it. Most of Jacksboro's kids played in that.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. And another thing I think that it's uncharted territory for Jacksboro. They haven't been here. This is a normal game for the Holiday Eagles. This is a game that they're used to playing in. They've watched as kids. I mean, I don't know y'all been in the fourth round, it seems like every year for the last 20 years, it seems like.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But with that being said, is that even the kids that are in the game, some of those guys be part of the playoffs. That way they've witnessed this stuff. They've seen the crowds. They've seen the atmosphere.
Well,
they see how these older kids turn it on.
You're expecting to play. And honestly, this is still a big deal to me. You win this game, you're playing December football.
That's right.
And December football, there's not very many teams that get to play that. And
well, I mean, after this week, we're down to 8.
Yeah.
And so it's a big deal. I really think that experience the Eagles is going to give them an edge in this game. But I think this is a flip a coin game. I think it can go either way. But I really like that. I like since we're going to have to make a pick, we're going to have to make a pick in this game. I'm going with the Eagles as well, just because of the experience that those kids have been there, done that, and seen it.
And Jacksboro by 4.
What's that?
Jacksboro's winning by 4.
Jacksboro by 4.
That's tough.
4 points. All right.
I'm gonna.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're good.
He's going with his district. We're going with ours.
That's right. That's basically what it boils down to.
The other game in our region, Comanche versus Gunner. I'm gonna say Gunner's got a slight edge on this one. Comanche's had a up and down year. I think they're gonna finish the season on a down.
Yeah, you just start comparing numbers of games and stuff like that. And I had the opportunity to watch Gunner this past week against City View, and they're a machine like they always are. They're just they're even at a different level this year. I still go back to you coming back after the Brock game, you and Coach Tucker coming back and saying, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
And we know how good Gunner's been, and then when they did what they did to Brock is just impressive. So, yeah, I mean, I think Gunner by as many as Jake wants it to be by.
Comanche's playing really good football. I mean, as good as they've. Earlier in the year, I didn't think, even early in district, I didn't think they were playing great football. By the time district ended, and we played in the last game of district, and they were playing about as good as anybody. If district champions were chosen by who played best in the last game, might have been them. But even with that, I don't know.
You better be playing this time of year. You better be playing your best football of the year. You can't fumble. You can't slow start. You better.
The only knock I had on Gunner watching them this past week is and how you can give a knock when you score 83 points. But they had 3 turnovers. And that's uncharacteristic of Gunner. They usually don't turn the ball over 3 times.
3 turnovers and still scored 83.
Yeah, and their turnovers were early on. So, I mean, it was their dudes. It wasn't like it was the backups were in and they turned the ball over. I mean, it was their guys. It was just very uncharacteristic for me to see that out of them. I think going down the road, that's something they can't do against a Canadian of the world. Like you turn the ball over 3 times, they're probably going to lose that game. But Canadian gunner, I know there's still some games to be played, and I know the winner of this Jacksboro holiday game, they want to have their chance, and that's great and all. It's going to take an upset to one of those to derail one of those two powerhouses. But it is high school football, and we see it all the time.
Years ago, after the first time I ever played gunner, we sat down in the office and said, if you're going to a state title game, you're going to have to beat gunner. And it haven't been wrong since.
No, you're right. I mean, I think Canadian and Gunners met up 7.
One year in between where Roosevelt beat Canadian.
Yeah, where there was an upset, and it's been 7 out of the last 8 years or something they've met in the state semifinals. So
you'll have to.
No, Roosevelt was a different division then.
No, they beat Canadian.
Yeah, they got beat. It was a big shocker in second round game.
Okay. That was the year the Canadian was down a little bit. But you can't. I mean, even we played them with Barron. Barron's starting to tech now. We thought we were pretty dang good, and it was a blitz.
Yeah, I played them the week before y'all played them.
That was
y'all played Holiday, and then we played Gunner that week. But this team now is better than that team that played it, and
that
team was good. And the year before that was the year they won.
I hate to say this, and I hope none of the Holiday kids or Jaxx kids are listening, but I believe Gunner's the best team they've had since I played them.
After watching them, we played them 6 years or 7 years there in a row, and it seemed like this is by far the best team I've seen put on the field as well.
So,
super fast, just crazy speed all over the field. It's unbelievable.
We don't have anybody remotely in this area 2A Division I. Stafford versus New Deal. No clue. Sonora versus Holly.
Holly's pretty daggone good. Holly's still got those 2 kids.
Yeah, they're still good.
The I don't know if his name's Ramon or Raymond. And number 1 and number 11, if they still got those kids.
You can kind of put a little bit of perspective in it. Stratford, when I was at Quanah, we played Stratford.
Stratford's been good for
a long time. They just beat Stanford, who has a pretty good squad, but Stanford played them pretty close, and Stanford also played Ollie was a really good game.
Yeah.
So I think if we get to that next round games with the Holly, I think Holly will win. And if Stratford or New Deal, I think whoever wins that game, you're going to be able to play that next round game is going to be a good one.
Holly's got those 2 Division I kids.
Yeah.
Until those guys graduate.
Yeah.
Tough team to beat.
That's right.
2A Division II, Groover versus Clarendon. Don't know a thing about them.
Clarendon's had some great athletes. I thought they were about running out of them. I was remembering them at the state basketball tournament for 2 or 3 years in a row, and they were their best football players. And then I know that there's one of those kids back that's a super stud athlete, and so he must be pulling. And Groover's come out of nowhere. They haven't been very good, and traditionally they are good, but I'm just saying the last 2 years they haven't been very good, and then they kind of come out of nowhere. But I like Wellington in this region.
Sunrise,
Yeah.
I think Wellington takes it.
Yeah, I think Wellington will win that region.
In Region 2, this is more our area. Munster versus Albany.
Sunray beat New Home 70-6. No, 28-7.
Well, Sunray's traditionally
win the whole thing.
Sunray's traditionally really good.
Really good.
We played Sunray.
New Home's a good football team. Munster and Albany. I want Munster to win. Albany's going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games, Munster is one of those teams that's not going to come in and be afraid of the Albany jersey. So I see that, but they might want to be afraid of it.
Yeah. Roscoe versus Collinsville. Collinsville
is supposed to be awesome.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Tackett and those guys a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about Collinsville is the real deal.
I'm happy for Roscoe. The Plowboys, friends of mine, and
they've done a good job out there.
They've done a good job. Roscoe was 15 miles or 20 miles from Colorado City.
They runner up in that district?
Yeah.
Collinsville and Munster.
Because they're in that Albany district, I believe.
No, Collinsville.
Roscoe.
Yeah.
I think Roscoe and Albany are in the same district, and Collinsville and Munster in the same district. Yeah. So, kind of
Good
district
district.
matchups there.
Yeah.
Tough districts.
So,
Collinsville's supposed to be awesome.
Yeah, I guess the only really other local team that we can consider local is Benjamin.
Benjamin and playoff. One a 6-man playoff.
Because even Division One, Knox City got knocked off this past week, so I think the only one we have left is Benjamin, who's they're the defending state champs.
They're playing the Jett Jaybirds.
And I believe Jayton is undefeated. And
Jayton's got a long history of football. I don't know if they knock off
58-12.
I don't know if they can beat Benjamin, but
the score of the Benjamin game last week against Newcastle, 102-84, I believe. Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah. And so, man, how do you outscore somebody that can score 112 points? Put your basketball team out there? I don't know. Better have a good basketball team.
Benjamin does have a good basketball
That's
team.
true. The Rigdon kid is the real
Good
He
deal.
scores like 50 points a game.
I remember watching him in the state basketball tournament last year. I think they scored 49 points. He scored 42 of them by himself.
I hate to say it. Boy, I always liked the Jaybirds. I wish I could tell this story, but I can't.
You always have. You have a bunch of
Yeah,
those
I know. It is from my misguided youth. Mama G's listening, so I can't tell that story about something that happened in Jayton years ago in a monster pickup. It had something to do with a monster pickup and a motorcycle.
We better just leave that on.
That's
I don't
enough.
even know where to go with it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Actually, I do, but
Yeah, you know exactly where to go with it.
I think Benjamin wins that game.
Yeah, I think as long as the Rigdon kid stays healthy, they're probably the team to beat in the entire state. So,
Well, it's kind of probably our shortest podcast of the year, but we
yeah, for sure. I mean, I really thought we'd have some more teams still going at this point in
I
time.
thought we'd have at least one, maybe two, but been an incredibly fast season. Nonetheless, thankful for football, thankful for barbecue, thankful for the cook shack and getting to hang out with friend Rudy and all our special guests. We're going to be back next week, no matter who we got left.
Yeah, we'll still do the show. We're gonna go. We're going 16. We're taking it to the
I
state
think
game.
we'll have at least 2 teams left next week.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Ryder's going to win, and Holiday Jacksboro
We're gonna keep one
on
of
our
them.
team.
That's right.
We'll be
And so
there.
that'll be good. So we'll run it all the way through. But yeah, it's man, I love holidays season, like holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Weather's starting to change. I'm ready. I'm ready to burn fires in the fireplace.
Now, I spent the last 2 days putting Christmas lights up. I haven't turned them on yet. You people that put up your trees, I get it.
My lights are up.
My lights are up, but I haven't turned them on. They don't come on until Thursday night after Thanksgiving meal. I'm a big believer in that. I know Christmas decorations have been there since August. I'm not a believer in that.
Yeah.
I think Thanksgiving's Christmas season starts, and then Friday morning, first song I listen to will be "Merry Christmas" from the Family. And
Robert Earl King.
Robert Earl.
That's a tough one to go by. That's why you wear the hat, right?
Daggum right. Me and Robert Earl can pull it off.
Yeah.
But,
Not the only 2 people that can.
Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson, Robert Earl. Pat Green can do it.
He don't do it as good as you.
No.
That Green's a jerk.
Yeah, you and Robert Earl. Y'all can carry. He can't. He's just trying to be like you.
Yeah, copy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, but it is a holiday. Hell, I like Christmas music. If you watched me last year on that stupid, it used to be Fox Out. Bally Sport, had my Christmas shirt on. I'm about to iron them up. It is time to bring out the Christmas gear.
I was asked that the other day. Someone called and said, "Hey, we heard you're doing the podcast. You guys are going to do the podcast from the state games." Yeah, they're like, "Is Frank going to be in his Christmas shirt?" I said, "Well, of course.
Daggum right.
There's no way he's not wearing a Christmas shirt."
Boy, just getting to play football in December is such a special.
And I really this week is a fun week. To be able to, you have family in and they're all there and they're gonna come watch practice normally and then they're gonna get to watch a game while your family's all in and and it's that chance to play football in December. And
It goes back to when Texas and Texas A&M used to play. I used to tell my kids, you play at Thanksgiving. These are when the best football games, college football games of the season. This is when the best high school football games of the season. You're not going to play slouches. These are going to be great games. And
speaking of Texas A&M, a shout out to Kirby Cohealy.
oh,
heck
heck
yes.
yes.
At Abilene Christian,
Jaxx died in the wool. Aggie.
He had a great game.
I talked to Jaxx about that the other day, about how good he played.
Pick six, like 13 tackles, 3 for
13,
loss.
yeah. And then the Breckenridge kid, Jerry Lawson, too.
Really?
I think he had like 5 or 6 tackles. I mean, he's a freshman, true freshman.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so. And what?
Luke Games from Ryder also played in that game.
And the Gunner kid scored a touchdown, too, I think.
Hudson Graham.
Yeah.
Jett Castle.
A lot of
we had a lot of guys from around here playing on that ACU team, and I'm just going to play on the stage for those guys. That would have been really cool to go to Texas A&M and play in front of that crowd, and then play really well. Ended up getting the FCS Player of the Week for the entire nation.
Cohealy was an absolute stud. I think he had 3 sacks.
Yeah.
When we played him, I guess he was a sophomore. When Jett was a senior, Trent got hurt, and Cohealy came in, and they were new to Iowa Park. I don't think he knew but about 4 plays. We couldn't tackle him.
Yeah,
he was a
stud. He's a specimen.
We played him that year, too. Y'all beat him that year. We played him in the second round.
What was the score, Jett?
14-0.
14-0?
Maybe that's 41.
Yeah, they couldn't score on those.
Our quarterback. They schemed this out. Aubrey's
a good coach.
Yeah, he's a good one. But yeah, enjoy your time in the holiday season. Get out and watch some good football. There's a game, I believe, Friday night at the stadium. If you're not going to one of the local games, if you're not going to Graham to watch Holiday and Jacksboro game, which I would advise to go watch.
Game in Vernon sounds like a good one as well.
And then we at the stadium they have Justin Northwest and Abilene High.
Yeah, and Abilene High is good.
Yeah, Abilene High just beat somebody this past Denton Ryan. Denton Ryan. So an opportunity there. Coach Free's doing a good job getting some games here. I was really pushing for that Holiday Jacksboro game to be here. Selfishly.
Me too.
But I get it. I understand why Jacksboro wouldn't want to come to play here with it being so close to Holiday.
Hell, I was hoping they'd play here in the Holiday period. It's like half a mile. I could ride my damn bike if I chose to.
That would have worked out. They should have flipped home and home, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Use that 2-sided coin that you have.
Jacksboro's got a nice stadium, too.
I don't have a whole lot of district bleachers.
Yeah, just Holiday.
Holiday don't need it.
Well, we didn't care if Jacksboro came here.
That's right.
So, but either way, I'll go to Graham and maybe eat. I can't remember that root beer place.
KW.
KW has a damn good hamburger.
Yeah, I went and ate. I went and ate there the last time. I went out and watched the Haskell football game out there, and me and Arrington went. That's where we went and had a burger. Yeah. It's a good place.
Jett
so
and
if
I
you're
are
going there, that's a good place.
If Jackson gets off work in time, he's going to go with us, and it'll be a great day.
Dad's going to buy all his supper, so you can't beat that. College kids always looking for free
barbecue
meals.
Money comes out.
Gas money as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's bring the trailer.
No.
I got my food handlers. I'm ready.
That's what we were talking. When Free was here last time, we're like, we need to have the trailer go out to tailgate at the stadium, sell some sandwiches and some barbecue mac.
I had connections in Graham. We can make it work.
I tell you what, next time, did I feed you a burrito this year?
Yeah, it was the ranch burrito or something.
Pulled pork or something.
Maybe brisket with potato.
No, it's pulled pork with potato.
Yeah.
Either way,
it's good.
Boy,
but no, you haven't done that. So maybe next week, maybe I should try.
Brisket burrito.
First time ever.
I gotta go back to work next week. So look for me next Wednesday, a week from today, which is tomorrow.
That's got you going.
Yeah, it does. Hopefully the Holiday Eagles still be playing, and like we've said all year, nothing goes better than high school football and barbecues, and we'll have it for you. Thank y'all for listening. Like, subscribe, and share.
Share. That's a big one. We need as many shares as possible. Make sure you go by Red Barn Butchers during the
Tell
holiday season.
Tell them Frank and Rudy sent
That's
you.
right. I was in there yesterday, and he said that some of you guys have been going in there and saying it. So I'm like, well, he's either lying to us or some of you are actually helping us out. That really
I
helps
know
us
that
out.
every time I go in there, they're busy, and I figure it's all because of us.
Yeah, I think that's probably the
100 or so listeners.
Yeah.
And hell, who doesn't like great barbecue?
That's right, especially cooked right.
Thank y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Good luck to the area teams that are left playing. And
Get out, support, be proud of your team. Take it easy on the coaches.
we'll see you on the gridiron.
Till next week.
See ya.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
It's good.